perfect lie unravels in less than a quarter of a second, not because of what someone says, but because of what their face betrays. It's an involuntary flicker, a lightning-fast display of true emotion that bypasses conscious control entirely. This silent signal, unseen by most, shatters even the most meticulously constructed facade, revealing the raw, unfiltered truth of their internal state. In this exposure, you will not just learn about micro-expressions, you will gain the power to decipher them. You will understand this profound psychological mechanism, the involuntary leakage of genuine emotion, hardwired into every human being, playing out across their face in a fraction of a second. Recognizing these ephemeral visual cues is not merely a party trick, it is your fundamental psychological defense against manipulation. It allows you to see the hidden currents beneath every social interaction, to understand what people truly feel and intend, regardless of what words they choose to speak. This knowledge is an invisible shield, protecting you from the subtle deceptions that permeate everyday life. Micro-expressions are the brain's ultimate tell, a primitive survival mechanism designed to alert others to immediate danger or distress, even when words fail. They are universal, cutting across cultures and languages because they originate in the limbic system, the ancient emotional core of our brain, before the neocortex, our center for conscious thought and language, can even register them. Think about that for a moment. Your true feelings are broadcast to the world before you can even decide to hide them. This phenomenon was meticulously documented and brought to the forefront of psychological understanding by Dr. Paul Ekman and his research partner Wallace V. Friesen in their groundbreaking work from the 1960s and 70s. They identified 7 universal emotions: anger, fear, disgust, surprise, happiness, sadness, and contempt, each with a distinct cross-cultural micro-expression. These expressions are not learned, they are innate. When a sudden threat appears, the amygdala, a key part of the limbic system, triggers a lightning-fast facial response, a flash of fear, for instance, long before you can consciously process the danger and decide whether to appear brave or scared. This raw emotional data is an unedited transcript of the inner self. It's a sudden, unmistakable tightening of the lips during contempt, a brief widening of the eyes and raising of eyebrows during surprise, or that fleeting nose wrinkle that signals pure disgust. These are not subtle cues that require careful observation of posture or gesture. These are visceral, physiological reactions that the face simply cannot suppress. While we unravel how a single, fleeting flicker can reveal a whole hidden truth, consider sharing your thoughts on the most unsettling gut feeling you've ever had about someone's hidden intentions. Liking and subscribing helps us cut through the noise and expose more of these critical psychological mechanisms to a wider audience, turning unseen influences into obvious truths for everyone. So, the manipulator, focused on their verbal narrative, their carefully rehearsed lines, remains utterly unaware that their face just contradicted their entire performance. They are broadcasting their true internal state, a secret language playing out in every interaction, waiting to be interpreted by those who know how to read it. This mechanism, this silent betrayal, operates in every corner of your life, whether you've noticed it or not. Imagine a seemingly calm colleague agreeing to take on a demanding project, but for a 25th of a second, a flash of intense anger crosses their eyes. You hear the words of agreement, but your subconscious just registered their true resentment. Or consider a high-stakes negotiation. A salesperson insists they're giving you their absolute best price, their voice earnest, yet a split-second tightening around their eyes and a subtle upward curl of one side of their mouth reveals contempt. They view you as easily fooled, and they know there's more room to maneuver. Before understanding micro-expressions, you might feel a vague unease, a gut feeling you couldn't quite place. Afterwards, you see the undeniable truth. As noted by deception researcher Pamela Meyer, manipulators often rely on a victim's natural tendency to believe words and general demeanor, never expecting that the body itself will betray them in such an acute, involuntary way. Think about a personal relationship. Someone close to you is denying a serious accusation. They maintain eye contact, their voice unwavering. But as you mention a specific detail, A brief, barely perceptible flash of fear crosses their face, a sudden widening of the eyes, a quick intake of breath that momentarily tenses their facial muscles. Before, you might have struggled with doubt, searching for inconsistencies in their story. Now, you've seen the raw emotion that their conscious mind tried desperately to hide. You now observe the words, yes, but you also witness the internal struggle, the emotional tremor that gives away the game. This isn't just about spotting lies, it's about seeing true intentions. A partner discussing future plans might show a quick flash of disgust when you mention a shared dream, revealing a deep-seated aversion they'd never vocalize. It's seeing the manager nod approvingly at your idea, but catching a fleeting micro-expression of sadness. Perhaps they know the project is doomed, or they're worried about their own position. This mechanism doesn't just expose malicious intent, it exposes truth, whatever that truth may be. Every interaction, every conversation, every exchange now holds a deeper, more profound layer of meaning, a constant stream of unfiltered emotion being broadcast just beneath the surface. It is a world operating in plain sight that most people never perceive. How do you arm yourself with this profound insight? How do you move from simply knowing micro-expressions exist to actively recognizing and defending against the manipulation they expose? There are 3 critical steps. First, develop your baseline method. Before you look for deception, you must understand a person's normal emotional landscape. Everyone has a baseline, their typical expressions, their default emotional state. Some people are naturally more animated, others more stoic. The key is to observe their face in non-stressful situations. Do they smile easily? Is their brow naturally furrowed? What does their face look like when they're neutral or genuinely amused? Once you establish this baseline, any deviation becomes far more significant. A stoic individual exhibiting even a single fleeting micro-expression is far more telling than a highly animated person who constantly shifts expressions. Train your focus to the ocular region, the eyes and eyebrows, and the mouth area, as these are the primary sites for micro-expression leakage. Second, understand cluster recognition and context. No single micro-expression should be taken as definitive proof of anything in isolation. Instead, look for clusters of signals and, crucially, interpret them within the immediate context. A flash of fear after you ask a pointed question about a hidden secret is highly indicative of potential deception or guilt. However, a flash of fear when someone almost trips on a step is just a natural reaction. Look for inconsistencies between verbal statements and these fleeting nonverbal cues. If someone verbally expresses delight but shows a micro-expression of sadness, that incongruence is your signal to pay closer attention. Consider the timing. Did the micro-expression appear before, during, or after the verbal statement it contradicts? This timing can provide valuable clues about the emotional process at play. Third, employ strategic nonverbal probing. If you detect a micro-expression that signals something significant, a flash of anger, a flicker of disgust, don't immediately confront. Instead, gently, subtly probe the area of discussion where the expression appeared. Ask a follow-up question that touches on the same emotional territory, but from a slightly different angle. For instance, if you saw a flash of fear when discussing a missed deadline, you might casually remark, "You seem a little stressed about that project." Then, observe their response very carefully. Often, as they scramble to regain composure and verbalize a denial, a second micro-expression, perhaps a stronger one, or a prolonged version of the first, will appear, confirming your initial suspicion. This isn't about interrogation, it's about gathering more information, validating your initial observation without making an accusation. The goal is not to catch them, but to understand the reality, to gather unbiased data about their true internal state. This knowledge empowers you to make informed decisions, whether to trust, to negotiate differently, or to disengage entirely. You will now realize that the true conversation unfolds beneath the words, within the fractions of a second. You are no longer a passive recipient of carefully constructed personas. You are an observer of the unfiltered truth, equipped to navigate social interactions with an unparalleled clarity that most will never possess. Your world will shift. What emotion did you miss? If this insight into silent deception has sharpened your perception, like this video now. It's your personal bookmark to revisit these essential defense methods the next time you sense those fleeting, telltale patterns in an interaction. The hidden language of micro-expressions now stands revealed, an undeniable testament to the vulnerability of even the most cunning manipulation. Arm yourself with this knowledge. Recognize the unseen forces at play in every human interaction. Subscribe immediately to ensure you do not miss the next vital psychological exposure we are already unearthing, a deeper dive into another hidden mechanism that shapes your world, whether you see it or not.